Good evening, teacher.
Jamila, good afternoon.
How are you?
I am okay. What about you?
Fine, thank you.
That's great. I think we have to wait for your friends to come. Ah, Hiba is coming. That's amazing.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Hiba, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I am great. Thanks God. Let's wait for your friends to come. 2 minutes maximum. Right, it's coming. Okay, 1 minute, and then we have to start. Let me use my phone. Okay, let's start. So I have to say good afternoon, Hiba, Jamila, Raed. And I have to tell you that today's class, guys, is going to be specified about the way of writing an email. Writing the email is really important. Too much students asking me this question. Is writing email really important? To be honest, the answer is yes. Because maybe, guys, you want to write an email for your boss at work. Maybe the email is going to be specified or sent to your doctor. Or maybe you have an interview, a job interview. Absolutely, sending emails in this way is really important. Sometimes, in applying for any university, you have to send some emails. But be careful because writing an email is not that easy because we have too much important steps you need to follow just to make sure that your email is totally correct. Before we start, guys, I know that writing the email, we had to practice writing the email in level two, but I waited for this time just to approximately finish level three, just to be more stable about using English, just to have more vocab, or even just to have more grammar rules. So by finishing level three, and I think that now it's the best time just to learn the way of writing email. First of all, guys, I need you to be careful about something. We have the formal email and the informal email. And absolutely, we have a big difference between formal email and informal one. If you want to ask me about the difference, the formal email is sending a professional email. I mean, you have to be polite as much as you can because this email is specified to your teacher, to your boss, to someone you don't know. And absolutely, guys, we have to be polite with people that we don't know. And the email that we have to send to our friends, maybe one member of our family, or maybe your beloved one, or your sister, your brother, your friend, your close friend. In this way, your email should be informal. Okay, now let me writing the file about writing a professional email, and let's start. Okay. Now I need you guys just to listen to me carefully because all the details, all the information that I'm going to discuss is extremely important. Okay. Keep in mind, guys, that in the English language, every piece of writing, we have special steps, or let me say, special format in writing this piece of writing. For example, if I want to write a paragraph, I have a specific format in writing this paragraph. If I want to write a letter, an email, or maybe an essay, a report, article, keep in mind that every piece of writing has its own format, or let me call it a scheme, which is, let me again say that these are the parts of the email. So we have to learn today, guys, the parts of the email and the capitalization in writing the email and the space and leaving empty lines in writing the email and the signature block. The signature block is optional. Optional means, guys, you are free to use signature block or maybe you don't want to write it. At least you have to send one email once in your life. So please be careful. Okay. Now let me explain in details the best way or the correct way in writing the format of any professional email. Now, guys, I'm explaining the formal email, not the informal one. Okay. Keep in mind that if you want to start writing the email, you have to write the subject. The subject, guys, is the reason of sending the email. Why are you sending this email? For what? What are the reasons? Or maybe what is the reason? Keep in mind that here my reason of sending the email is because I'm sick today. And the second reason is about homework question. There is something which is extremely important in writing the subject. In writing the subject again, which is about the reason or the reasons about sending the email, don't write complete sentences. I mean, don't write a sentence and this sentence is about a subject plus verb and plus object. Absolutely, any sentence or clause, let me call it independent clause, has a subject, verb, an object, or maybe if there is no object, absolutely, we have to write the complement. This is a sentence, or this is independent clause. Avoid using sentences or avoid writing sentences in the subject. In the subject, guys, we have to write a phrase. The phrase is not a complete sentence. Let me explain here this or these two words. Notice sick today. Sick is an adjective. Today is adverb of time. So notice that the verb and the noun is missing. So the verb is missing and the noun is missing. Both of them are missing. So this is a phrase, not a complete sentence. And notice that we have homework. Homework is a noun and phrase is a noun. So the two reasons are not complete sentences. So the first step I need you to keep in mind to remember, which is don't write complete sentences in the subject, which is the place about the reason of sending my email. Now, number two, keep in mind that maybe if you want to write an email, you have more than one reason in writing this email. If it is so, you have to write dash. And notice that in writing the dash, guys, we have a small space before the dash and a small space after the dash. So if you want to separate the reasons in writing professional email or formal email, you have to separate the reason using dash. Don't use or don't write a comma. Don't write full stop because again, it is not a complete sentence. So please keep it in your mind because again, it is really important. Now, number 3, I need you to be careful about the number of reasons that you want to write in the subject. The number of reasons depend on the number of paragraph in the body in your email. I mean, notice here that I wrote 2 reasons. This is reason number 1, and this is reason number 2. Because of that, I wrote 2 body paragraphs. So keep in mind that every single paragraph is going to be specified for a complete reason. And I needed to notice that I skipped a line between the 2 paragraphs. So skipping a line is really important. So again, if you want to write only 1 reason in the subject, you have to write only 1 body paragraph in the email. If you want to write 2 reasons, you have to write 2 body paragraphs, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5 till the end. Don't write 3 reasons in the subject and 2 body paragraphs. This is wrong. You will destroy the format of the email. And absolutely don't write 1 reason and here in the body, maybe you want to write 2 body paragraphs. It is completely wrong. Now, number 4. Number 4, guys, you have to specify every paragraph to talk about only 1 reason. Don't mix talking about the 2 reasons in 1 paragraph. I mean, notice that here, my first reason is because I'm sick today. So all the first body paragraph is about that I'm sick today. And the second paragraph is about homework question. So don't mix the 2 reasons in body paragraph because again, you will destroy the scheme or the format of the email. And there is something you have to be careful, which is capitalize every letter in the beginning of every word. Again, capitalize every letter in the beginning of every word in the subject. Guys, the subject and the opening statement are the most important 2 parts in writing the email. If you commit any mistake in writing them, your email will be dropped. Your email is not going to be read, especially these days, guys, because these days the AI machines are reading your email. I mean, it's not a human being. Let me give you an example. I remember that at school, when my students wrote emails to me and when committing mistakes in writing the subject or maybe the opening statement, for example, they wrote full stop instead of comma. I forgot, I really didn't consider it as a mistake because I said, it's okay, it's only a small mistake and it's something normal. But the machine has no mercy, especially these days, guys. You have to be careful because any mistake, any small mistake in writing your email, immediately your email will be dropped. It's like writing the CV. Any mistake in writing the CV, if you want to send it to companies, emails for universities, any mistake, again, believe me, your email will not be read at all. Okay, so you have to capitalize every word in the subject, except for 3 things. 3 things you don't have to capitalize, which are number 1, the articles. You don't have to capitalize the articles at all. You don't have to capitalize the conjunctions. And you don't have to capitalize the prepositions. Guys, again, I'm only talking about the subject. I'm not talking about the body paragraph or the closing statement or anything. Now we are only talking about the subject. In the subject, you have to capitalize everything, every single word, again, in the beginning of every word, except for articles. And if you remember, the articles are a, an, plus the, These are the articles that we have in English. Do not capitalize them at all. And the conjunctions. If you want to ask me about the meaning of conjunctions, guys, like or, like and, like yet, like nor, like for, like because, like although, all these words are called conjunctions. Do not capitalize them at all. And you don't have to capitalize the prepositions. Let me give you an example. Not only in the subject and again in the opening statement, and I'm going to discuss that later. Okay, so if you want to take a look, guys, at this list, you notice that we have and, but, by, for, or, we have so, and we have if. These words are called conjunctions. Do not capitalize the first letter in the beginning of every conjunction. And notice that here we have on, this is on, this is out, this is off, and this is in, for example. These are prepositions. I don't have to capitalize them. And these are the articles, a, and the. Again, you don't have to capitalize them in the subject and in the opening statement. Okay, now let me go back to the opening statement, and then I'm going to show you an example about capitalization. Now, after writing, guys, the reasons, or maybe the one reason in the subject place, now I have to write something which is called opening statement. In every email, guys, every letter, every email, we have two important parts. The part number one is called the opening statement. The part number two is called the closing statement. So you have to write the opening statement and the closing statement. Some students call it salutation. It is up to you, by the way. Okay, now there is a big difference in writing formal and informal emails if you want to write the opening statement. Notice here that we have dear. Dear is completely formal. If you want to write, for example, an email for university, for a company, or applying for a certain job, you have to be formal, completely formal. So dear is formal. So notice that I wrote dear, and the first letter is absolutely capitalized. And notice that I wrote Miss Holly. There is something which is extremely important in writing the open statement, which is the nicknames, the abbreviations of nicknames. For example, Mr. So notice that Mr. I have to write MR like this. Miss, notice MS is Miss. Notice we have Mrs. This is a nickname. We have doctor, for example, this is doctor. We have a professor, absolute doctor in abbreviation. Guys, I'm talking only about abbreviations. Professor, so notice this is a professor. Engineer, and this is engineer, it's ENG. Notice that every I mean, in the beginning of every letter, it is capitalized. So these are the nicknames. You have to be careful because you have to use nicknames. And don't forget that at the end of every nickname, you have to write a full stop. Don't forget it, please. Punctuation is extremely important. Any mistake in punctuation marks, believe me, your email will be dropped. So notice Miss here, I wrote full stop. So these are nicknames, and notice that the first letter in nicknames is capitalized. Do not forget it at all. So if the person that you are sending the letter to is doctor, you have to write doctor. If it is professor, professor, engineer, miss, Mrs., Mr., you have to be careful. And notice that, absolutely, guys, I want to write the name of the person that I want to send the email to. And every name, every proper name, the first letter is capitalized. Notice that Holly, Holly is a name, and I wrote the letter, the first letter, capitalized as capitalized letter. Let me tell you something about the opening statement. If you know the complete name of the person, I mean the first name, the surname, or maybe the last name, write all the name, write the complete name. Because if you want to write only the first name, you will be impolite. Again, only if you know the full name of the person, you have to write the full name, or you will be impolite. If you don't know the full name, it is okay to write only the first name. And notice again that I wrote comma after the opening statement. There is something I need to show you here, which is the comma and the colon. The colon is the two full stops above each other. So notice this is called colon, and this is called comma. Okay, keep in mind that using colon in the opening statement, it is completely formal. So again, using colons instead of commas in the end of the opening statement is completely formal. So please be careful in using colons or maybe commas. Don't use full stop at all. Full stop is wrong because, guys, the full stop, if you want to write a full stop, it's because you finished talking or you finished mentioning the information and you haven't started yet. So how can I write full stop and you didn't start yet? So you have two choices. You can write colon or maybe a comma, but keep in mind that colon is completely formal. And notice again that in the opening statement, in the beginning or in the first letter of every single word is capitalized again, except for, as I told you, except for articles, except for conjunctions, and except for prepositions. This is the subject. Notice S, T, H, W are capitalized, and you have to do so in the opening statement. And I need you to take a look at this example and this example. Notice the board of directors. Of is preposition. Because of is a preposition, I didn't write the O in or just as capitalized letter because it is a preposition. I notice that the D, B and D are capitalized except for the preposition. I notice here in the next example, we have and. We have dear mom and dad. And is conjunction, and because it is conjunction, I didn't write a in the beginning of this word, which is a conjunction as capitalized, because again, I told you that it is a preposition and you don't have to capitalize the prepositions at all. This rule, guys, only you have to apply it only in the subject and in the opening statement only. In the body paragraph and in the closing statement, everything goes back to its normal. Okay, so this is it, the opening statement. Some students, guys, asked me this question, but teacher, sometimes I don't know the name of the person that I'm sending the letter to. What should I do? If you don't know the name of the person that you are sending your email to, you have to write dear sir. Absolutely, the S is capitalized. Dear sir / madam. And absolutely the M is capitalized. So again, if you don't know the person that you are sending the letter to, you have to write dear sir or madam. If you know his gender or her gender and you don't know the name, you can write only dear sir or maybe dear madam. Or you can write or like this, dear sir or madam, or maybe you want to write /. Both of them are correct. So again, if you don't know the name of the person that you are sending the email to, you have to write dear sir and madam. And don't forget again, you can write comma and you can write colons. And colon is better than writing the comma because it is pure formal. Okay. Now, after writing the reason or the reasons in the subject place, after writing the opening statement, I have to skip a line. Please, skipping a line is extremely important. So now I want to skip a line. Now I want to talk about my first reason, which is sick today. Again, this is a phrase, but not a complete sentence. Okay. Now I hope that you are having a nice week. Take a look, guys, please, at this sentence. This sentence is amazing. If you want to ask me why, because this is completely formal. If you are sending an email to your friend, simply you can say that I hope that you are okay. I hope that you're fine. I hope that you are doing well. But I cannot do so in sending the formal emails because the person that you are sending the email to, you don't know this person. And you have to be polite, especially with your teachers, with your professors. So notice I said, I hope that you are having a nice week. Hope is great if you want to use it with formal writing, not only emails, every piece of writing, paragraph, articles, reports, essays. Okay. Now notice the next sentence. I said, I'm writing to let you know. Keep in mind, guys, if you are sending an email to your friend, it is easy to say, I'm writing to tell you, but avoid using tell, avoid writing tell in the formal essay. Forget about tell in formal. Tell is really bad in formal. So notice I can say, I'm writing to inform you. Guys, the meaning of inform or let me say inform has the same meaning of tell. It's the exact meaning, but tell is informal and inform is formal and let you know is formal. So please be careful. So notice I said I'm writing to let you know. I'm writing to inform you. I didn't say I'm writing to tell you because again, the person I'm sending the email to is not my friend, is not my brother, is not my close friend, is not my beloved. So I'm writing to let you know that I'm absent today because I'm sick. I need you guys to take a look at is written in abbreviation. This is wrong. In writing formal emails or any formal, not only formal emails, formal essays, formal paragraphs, don't use or don't write using abbreviations at all. Notice here I said I am, not am. Here I said I am again, I didn't say am. I said I have, I didn't say I've. I said it is, I didn't say it's. Okay, but here it is a mistake. It is not correct. Again, if you are, I'm not say that this is again I am. If you are sending an email or if you are sending a formal email, avoid writing using abbreviations or contractions. But if you are sending an email to your friend, to a person you know, it is easy for you or it's correct to write using abbreviations. So please keep it in your mind because it is extremely important. Okay, so this is the first reason. Now I hope I will be better by tomorrow. So notice that I only said or I only explained or I only mentioned about my sickness today. I didn't mention anything about homework question. Why? Because I have to do that in the second paragraph, which is going to be about the second reason. Now, after finishing writing the first paragraph in the body and writing the email, I have to skip a line again. Please, skipping a line is extremely important. Absolutely, if you are writing one body paragraph, you don't have to skip a line at all between paragraphs in the body. But because I'm talking or I'm writing about two reasons, absolutely, I have to skip a line. Now I have to start talking about my second reason, which is homework question. Now I have a question about my homework that is due today. Is it possible for me to turn it in tomorrow when I am not when I am back? Question mark. I can also scan the pages and email them today. Please let me know. So notice that I said please let me know. I didn't say please tell me. So please let me know which is best. So did you finish? When you finish talking about the second reason, which is the second paragraph, which is the last reason about sending my email, I have to skip a line again. So please be careful. After skipping a line, now it is the time to write the closing statement. As I told you guys, some teachers call it salutation, but because it is opening statement, let me call this phrase or these two words as closing statements. I noticed that I said best regards. I didn't say see you again, goodbye, please write for me. Please, you have to be careful because the opening statement and the closing statement should be completely formal. Avoid writing informal closing statement because again, this is wrong. For example, like see you again, see you tomorrow, please write for me, be cool, write back, be well. Come on, this is completely informal. Too much students asked me this question, which is, teacher, can you please tell us about more than one formal closing statements? Absolutely. Let me show you. Here we have other formal closing statements like best regards, best wishes, sincerely, and I can write sincere, it is correct. Sincere is correct and sincerely is correct too. So sincere, sincerely, thank you so much. Don't say thanks, please, guys. Thanks is informal. Only you can use it to your friend. Don't say thanks. Thanks a lot. This is completely wrong. Thank you so much. Yours truly, and you can say yours faithfully is correct. So you can say yours truly or yours faithfully. Again, both of them are correct. So faithfully. We have if, I'm sorry, faithfully. And you can write respectfully. So these are the formal closing statement. Try to choose one of them and write it because again, these closing statements are formal. Let me show you again the scheme or the format of the email. This is it. So notice again, please, that I skipped a line when I finished writing the open statement. I skipped a line, empty line between paragraphs, between reasons. I skipped a line again before the closing statement or by the end of the last reason. After writing the closing statement, you have to skip a line again, please, and you have to write your signature. So again, when you finish writing the closing statement, you have to write comma, please, comma, not full stop. So notice here comma in the opening statement. Notice in the closing statement, comma. And when you finish writing the closing statement, you have to skip a line again. And there's something, please be careful. Notice I capitalized the beginning of every word in the opening, but I didn't in the closing statement. Absolutely, I capitalized B because in the beginning of every line, you have to capitalize the first letter. But I didn't in D because, again, it's not the same of the opening and the closing. Don't capitalize the words that I told you. Write it as normal because this is not, again, opening a statement. So please, after that, you have to write a comma and you have to skip a line. In the end or at the end of your essay, you have to write your complete names. You have to write your full name, your first name, and your last name. Absolutely, if you are sending an email to your friend knows you, knows your first name and knows your last name. So it's not necessary to write your full name if you are sending an email to your friend. But please be careful. If your email is formal, you have to write your complete name, the first name, and the last name. After that, guys, after writing your name, you can write a full stop if you want, just to tell the reader that it is the end of my email. There is something, guys, which is called signature block. Signature block is optional. Too much students asked me, teacher, what is this? What is the meaning of a signature block? Guys, the signature is different from signature block. The signature is writing your name, and the signature block is maybe you want to write your website. For example, if you have a company and you want to write the website, you can do like this: www.youtube.com/EnglishUnits englishunits.com. Okay. Or maybe this one, englishunits.com. Or maybe if you are, let me say, an owner of a certain company, you can absolutely write the website of your company. This is called signature block. Me, guys, let me give you an example. Me as a teacher, because I have a YouTube channel, it is easier for me, for example, just to write the signature block. And too much managers, because they have companies, they have to write the signature block. If you are sending an email, for example, to a certain university, the university is going to write its website in the signature block. So this is it. Please be careful again. So we have here more examples about signature block. Maybe the address of your company or your full name, if you are a director, if you are a supervisor or something like that. So this is it about writing an email. Now, I know that you want to ask me, teacher, this is formal email, but how can you please tell us or show us an example about informal email? Absolutely, I can. Okay, let me tell you something, guys, concerning writing email. Writing email is the same of writing letters. If you want to write a letter in English, approximately, the format or the scheme is the same. Let me now show you the formal letter or email and the informal one, because I want to show you the difference between them. Let me open this file. I guess it is here. Writing. This is writing. This is formal. Let me show you the formal and then the informal letter, because again, the format is approximately the same. So notice again, please, guys, dear sir or madam, or you can write a slash as I told you. Why? Because again, I don't know the name of the person that I'm sending the email to. And I told you that you can write comma, but it is better because you are writing formal email to write colon. Again, the column means the two dots above each other. And notice that I skipped a line. So I said, I'm writing to let you know. I didn't say I'm writing to tell you. And guys, some students asked me, is there or are there some expressions or vocab I can use just to make my email totally formal? Yes, absolutely. For example, considerate or consider. I want to show you how many times the writer used consider, the verb consider, or the noun or the adjective considerate. Notice here he said considerate. Then he said considerate. Then he said consideration. So notice consider. So consider is a good word, a good vocab. Why? Because it is completely formal. I notice the closing statement, thank you for taking my email into your consideration. So this closing statement, for example, is completely formal. So I'm writing to let you know, please be careful. Let me explain my situation. I didn't say, let me tell you my situation. Please totally forget about tell in writing the formal. This is only for your friend, by the way. Okay, guys, sometimes in writing the email, I have a request. The meaning of request, if you have something, if you want to ask something, for example, from supervisor, from your boss, maybe you want to ask for a certain off day from your boss if you are working in a certain company. Don't be impolite in asking this question or just making this request. You have to be polite. And if you want to do so, if you want to be so, or if you want to be polite, notice you have to use would or could. Please don't use will and can in writing the formal email. Avoid can and will. Can and will is only for informal. For example, if you notice, guys, in certain movies, if a boy or a man wants
Sir,
to... yes.
can you repeat the last idea about would?